What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another Classic WoW video for Mists of Pandaria Classic, and today we're going to be talking about making gold in a very specific way in Mists of Pandaria Classic. And before we get into that, I just want to say that I have a Mists of Pandaria Goldmaking Guide if you want to take your gold making to the absolute next level and make as much gold as possible in Mists of Pandaria, especially at the launch when we have the insane gold rush. You can make so much gold, it is absolutely crazy. Now at the moment, if you do buy this guide, you also get the Cataclysm Guide in the same purchase, effectively giving you 2 guides for the price of 1, and that way you can use the Cataclysm Guide to make gold until Mists of Pandaria comes out, and make a bunch of gold in Mists of Pandaria using the Mists of Pandaria Goldmaking Guide as well. You will also get access to exclusive videos in this guide. Even right now there's 3 videos that I'm not going to make public that you will have access to help you make even more gold. So check it out through the link down below, and with that being said, let's talk about making some gold today as well. Now this is actually something you can start working towards right now before Mists of Pandaria comes out. So we're talking about how to make gold in Mists of Pandaria, but you can start working towards this right now and prepare yourself for the upcoming expansion. Now, the method I'm talking about today, I have talked about before and will likely talk about again sometime as well, but it's talking about Inscription daily cooldown crafting, and because I have talked about it before, I'm going to give a quick TLDR here. Basically, scribes are getting access to a daily cooldown craft in Mists of Pandaria called Scroll of Wisdom. Scroll of Wisdom are used in a bunch of epic craft, including these staves you can make, offhands, and even Dark Moon cards, which means in order to get the trinket you see on the screen right now, you need to do a daily craft, and 1 daily craft equals 1 random Dark Moon card, and then you have to combine 8 cards to get a trinket. And the thing is, you have 4 different types of decks you can get when crafting that card as well. So if you only have 1 scribe, getting a full deck for a trinket will take you absolutely forever. It could take you weeks, could even take you over a month to get 1 singular trinket done and be able to either use a trinket yourself or sell that trinket. But the scrolls themselves might be soulbound, as you can see here, bind to unpicked up. The Dark Moon cards can be traded. That means if you have 10 scribes, you can then start making 10 cards every single day and send all of those cards to 1 singular character, and that way, instead of just having 1 scribe getting 1 card per day, you're now getting 10 cards, accelerating the pace of which you get those trinkets absolutely massively. Now, when you do the daily craft, you also get sometimes a glyph that you haven't learned yet, so it's a vital part to expand your crafting when it comes to being a scribe. So every time you do this daily cooldown, you will then get a random glyph you haven't learned yet, including brand new glyphs coming out in Mists of Pandaria as well. Now for the craft itself, all you need is 3 regular Ink of Dreams, not even Ink of Stars, just regular Ink of Dreams, so it's a pretty cheap daily cooldown to craft as well. And once again, cooldown resets every single day with the daily reset on your server. Now, where the preparation comes into play is that you can start leveling up characters right now before Mists of Pandaria comes out, and even start skilling up Inscription as well to be ready for launch. Now, what I want to talk about today is how important this will be for the start of the expansion, because these trinkets right here, they are really good. I mean, you can look at them right now and they might not look super impressive, but because they're 476 item level, and if we go to the raid right now, we can take a look at, for example, loot from Mogurshan Vaults will be available from the start. Go to loot here, this is 489, and if you go to the last boss, for example, 489 here as well, and it's dropping some pretty good trinket. This one, for example, 489, compared to Dark Moon trinkets 476. That being said, if we go over to some logs right now, I just want to prove how important these trinkets are, how much they will be used, and therefore how much gold you'll be able to make, because the rush for these trinkets will be insane, and once again crafting them are gated behind a daily cooldown, so we can't just mass produce them the way we did back in Wrath or Cataclysm. It is now time gated, and people will pay a premium to get these trinkets as early as they can for their parses, and especially if you're playing on a high pop PvP server where GDKPs are happening, like Johannes or Farmo for example, you can make so much gold, because on those servers, one singular person doesn't just want one trinket, they're probably gonna level up 10 characters to do GDKPs, and buy 10 trinkets, one for every single character, and you can get so much gold from this. So here are some of the logs from top DPS people on a private server that would emulate what phase 1 looks like, because this right here is from Heart of Fear for example, using items from Heart of Fear, and this is from 25-man Heroic. I just want to show you guys what gear they are using, so if you look here, you can see the gear they are using, and for the tanks, like, it's not really that important, because tanks usually use DPS trinket anyway, but if you look at regular DPSers, we can go to this hunter for example, number 9 here, doing 158.9 thousand DPS, he has a 502 heroic trinket, paired with Dark Moon trinket. And then this guy as well, Rogue, number 10 on the DPS meters, he has Terror in the Mists, one of the best trinkets in the game, 509 item level, paired with Dark Moon trinket, once again, and they have access to many trinkets like this Rogue could have used both Terror in the Mist and this one, for example, Bottle of Infinite Stars, but he's opting to use Relic of Suen or the Dark Moon card. This tank as well, for example, using Dark Moon trinket, and also this trinket. This Warlock number 12 using Essence of Terror, once again, 509 item level, very good trinket, heroic trinket as well from the last boss, paired with Dark Moon trinket. This Hunter, Terror in the Mist, 509, paired with Dark Moon, this one paired with Dark Moon. Basically, every single person scrolling down here on DPS meters are pairing it with Dark Moon trinkets, except for this Hunter right here using Searing Words and this trinket, and this like Windwalker using these two trinkets like Terror and Bottle of Infinite Stars. Other than that, pretty much everyone in the top 25 are using Dark Moon trinkets, like here, everyone is using Dark Moon trinkets. It is absolutely insane. And likewise on the next boss as well, over here, Dark Moon trinket, Dark Moon trinket, Dark Moon trinket, Dark Moon trinket, Dark Moon trinket. The majority of people that are parsing and doing top DPS are using Dark Moon trinkets for pretty much every single class. When it comes to melee, for example, we have a Feral Druid right here, Ansu, using Dark Moon trinket. We had a Rogue using Dark Moon trinket. We have DKs using Dark Moon trinket. What else do we have? We have warriors using Dark Moon trinkets, like all the way over here from Eric using Dark Moon trinket as well. So everyone who's top DPS, no matter the class they play, seem to be using Dark Moon trinkets, especially for DPS, but even for the tanks. So a bunch of these Dark Moon trinkets will be absolute best in slot in phase 1, no questions asked. And even though I personally think looking at logs like this is quite boring, it is very important to just get a feel for how good these trinkets are and how in demand they will be. When it comes to making gold, it's all about supply and demand. So if Dark Moon trinkets are gated behind a daily cooldown but nobody uses them, the price is barely going to change at all. But now in Mists of Pandaria, we have the fact that crafting these Dark Moon trinkets are now locked behind a daily cooldown craft, which means supply will be limited for a while, and the supply is basically time limited now. Meanwhile, demand will be there from the start, and it is used by almost everyone when it comes to being top DPS and when it comes to parsing. So demand will absolutely be there, and I think it's going to be a great way to make gold early in the expansion. So get your scribes ready, level up your characters, buy those herbs, mill those herbs, craft those pigments, or I guess turn those pigments into ink, and skill up your inscription. Either way, I just wanted to make this update video because even though I have talked about the craft itself before and talked about the fact that you should level up scribes before, I haven't really dived into the data to find out how in demand they are, and well, now we have logs that are backing up the demand for these Dark Moon trinkets, so hopefully this helps you out. And once again, I really hope you're able to use this to make a bunch of gold in Mists of Pandaria Classic. So With that being said, if you have anything else you want to share, do so down below in the comments. Check out the Goldmaking Guide if you want to, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below as well. As always, thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.